Welcome back to Subsistence. So, yeah, we've got a bit of a base going here, guys. Okay, I've been playing a different game now. Gotta get used to the key controls again here. I really want to place the BCU, but I want to finish some walls before we do that, and have all the stuff we need to do some additional, like, building stuff. So what we're going to do is just drop off whatever we can drop off, like not like that, like that, and then we're going to head out and find more stuff. I caught one small fish this morning. It's not going to do a whole lot of good for us, but it'll be a little something to have as we head out on our little adventure today trying to find this stuff. Okay, there's a loot crate right here. Yeah, I'm hoping we can get a bunch of loot crates. I'll place the BCU. We'll make a few things. It's just I need to have supplies to make the stuff. So we're just going to gather a bunch of supplies. Oh, there's that chicken. I want to get that chicken too, because we're not going to have a whole lot of protein here after this fish. So let's just see, where did the chicken go? Where is it? There it is. Got it. I think I saw a loot crate over here also. Yep. And another chicken. We'll look into that. And another loot crate to the right. This is good. The more of these things we can get early on, the better. Look at this. 2 freaking loot crates and that chicken. Nice. I ain't messing around today. We're going to get this stuff taken care of. Right. I'm liking it. Good start to the day. Okay, let's do this. Get a bunch of wood. I think I only have like 5 logs on me or something. We need to fill the fire before we head out like too far. So, oh, look at this. This is freaking great. We haven't hardly gone anywhere away from our base, and I've already found all kinds of loot crates and stuff. Oh, we needed that too. Let's eat that apple right now. This is good. This is really good. Yeah, so we'll need, hopefully we'll find a bunch of nails, a bunch of fiber plants, and we'll gather a bunch of wood, and then we'll be able to finish up with our walls and so forth. Maybe I don't have to worry about those back walls, like before I place the BCU. I'd really like to get the BCU up and get some ore refining very soon, and get a generator powered right away, and get a stove going. Those are the 3 pieces of equipment that I want right away. Is, you know, the generator, the wood burner, and the refinery. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and butcher these guys. I'm going to eat this. Keep forgetting I don't have to do that. I can just click on them in my inventory to eat them, but I forget. So, alright, let's drink that, and again, I didn't have to right click it, I know. Alright, so while that's going, then we'll go ahead and drop off some stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we will put the BCU on the front side here, If need be, I do another door here, and then we use this area to shoot down. But I kind of don't like these half walls because the guys are going to come closer than that. I won't be able to see down to shoot them. What I might do is just do pretty much solid walls all the way around. I mean, this platform I can shoot down from, but I might just like build a second story and use that to shoot down from. I don't know. I just don't know. What I do know is our chicken's going to burn if I don't get back down there pretty quick. So we're going to do that. Alright. Go down, grab the chicken, feed the fire one more time, and then head... Oh, there's a loot crate over there. There's another loot crate over there. There's two of them. That's great. Alright, so let's grab this stuff. We just carry that with us as we run around grabbing stuff. I was kind of hoping that we'd have a better stockpile of ammo by the time I place the BCU, but you know, we don't. We have what we have. I have killed quite a few wolves, which has used up a good chunk of our ammo and the stuff for making ammo. I think there's two loot crates over here. I might have been mistaken about that, but either way, we're just going to run around and grab as much as we can, as quick as we can. So, while we're doing this, what do we want to talk about today? Oh, the silver fox experiment. That's what we want to talk about. So, okay, some of you may already know about this. It's something that was done many years ago. There was this family of fox breeders. I think they bred foxes to make like coats out of and stuff. They'd harvest them for the skins, right? That was the purpose of their fox breeding place and stuff. But an interesting thing happened at this place. I don't know, somewhere in Siberia or something. I can't remember the details, frankly, guys. But the basic gist of what happened with their situation is very clear for me, and it's freaking fascinating. So, all right, let's go to let's switch gears for a moment. And I want to tell you a little bit about what we know about dogs. Dogs have all evolved from wolf ancestors. Okay? So we do know that the common ancestor of all modern dogs is the wolf. Canis lupus, which is our, the precursor to Canis familiaris, or I forget what the dog is, but obviously dogs are canines, right? Canis. So we also know that by breeding from the wolf genes, we have been able to get a massive variety of different dogs. And if you haven't seen the BBC special and Man-Made God, I'm sorry, not God, and Man-Made Dog, it's really fascinating. It's all the history of how dogs evolved and then were subsequently selectively bred, and how their genome is uniquely suited for such a wide variety of different types of dogs, from the teacup Chihuahua to the Bull Mastiff and the Great Dane and all that. But okay, so we know dogs are from wolves. Foxes, while similar, they are not canines. They do not share a common... Well, they share a common ancestor with wolves, but much further back in the evolutionary chain. I mean, they're all carnivores, but And I think they have a much more recent common ancestor than carnivora, but suffice to say, they're not in the same branch evolutionarily as dogs are. They come from, they're not from wolves or whatever, and they can't interbreed with wolves and things like that. Although there are lots of superficial similarities, and even some, morphological similarities between them. You know, as far as like their skeletal structure and so forth, similarities, right? But again, not as closely related as one might think. Okay, with that being said, here's where we go back to the silver fox experiment. This family of breeders, of fox breeders and harvesters or whatever, I don't know what their official job title was, whatever, but so they were breeding foxes. And primarily their goal was just to harvest them for their furs. But foxes are notoriously ornery and hard to manage. They're very skittish. They do not like people. They don't like humans at all. They will bite you and run and say they're really not like a pet type animal at all. Particularly not a wild one, right? What happened was these breeders, they initially, I believe the mindset was, look, we're just having a hard time with these foxes. They're so difficult to, handle and so forth. And we're tired of getting bit kind of idea, right? I don't know what their actual, they speak Russian or something. I don't know what. But anyway, all right, so back to the topic. So they decided, look, we're going to do what the earliest, like wolf owners did and breed these foxes that have a better disposition with one another and not breed the ornery ones, So that's what they did. They started selectively breeding just those foxes that showed a little bit more gregarious nature towards humans and were not as skittish and so forth. And initially, it was very minute, behavioral traits that they were breeding for. It was, it's like just slightly less obnoxious and ornery than, the one next to it. But over time, what they found was they were successfully breeding those behavioral characteristics into the next generation and down, on and on down the line. What they didn't realize would happen was, as a result of breeding for more favorable social behaviors, they got a host of physiological traits that came along for the ride. Apparently, the genetic code has many behavioral and physiological traits very closely linked to one another in the genome. So now what this means and how it played out in fact was that as these foxes became more and more friendly towards humans, they began to look more and more dog-like. To the point where they'd have floppy ears and their noses weren't as sharp and pointy. The fur was, it started turning like silver gray. That's why they're the silver foxes. Now we're talking about a stock of like the red fox, right? That everybody knows, the common fox with the red coat and all that. Just by breeding them for more favorable social traits, purely that's all they selected for. They didn't select for any physical traits when they were doing the breeding. Unlike like dog breeders, they breed for the physical traits, right? because dogs are already very, very social. Um, but the foxes weren't. So, yeah, I found it absolutely fascinating that just by selecting for behaviors, they got all these physiological changes that made these foxes look like dogs. It's amazing. And of course, they're very friendly, playful, and all that stuff. They're not dogs. They're not dogs. They couldn't breed with a dog. They can't, you wouldn't necessarily mistake one for a dog up close, but from a little ways away, you might certainly think they are dogs. They do still have kind of the little yippy kind of bark that the foxes are known for, but it's just amazing the physical traits that came along with these behavioral traits. It's unbelievable. So, if you are unfamiliar with the Silver Fox experiment, just Google it. Silver Fox experiment. It is absolutely fascinating. If you're at all interested in that kind of stuff, like I am, I'm a big, big fan of science, and like evolutionary science is one of the most fascinating things because it tells us about our origin and how we're all linked with everything in nature and so forth. It's just a matter of how deep in time you go before you find the common ancestor between humans and freaking sponges and stuff. It's really, really quite amazing. And at this point, it's been over 150, 160 years since Darwin published his On the Origin of Species. And in that time, the mountain of evidence that has confirmed evolution, not only do we have genetics and, like the hard sciences, hard biological sciences like that, but, also paleontology and archaeology and geology and everything meshes perfectly with the theory of evolution. And at this point, it has been said that the theory of evolution is as strong in science as any theory, and even better attested than things like the theory of gravity, or the theory, the germ theory of disease, or atomic theory, and so forth. There is more evidence to bolster evolution, or the theory of evolution, than there is of any of those other scientific theories. And yet, it's amazing how certain factions fight tooth and nail against evolution because it challenges some of their preconceived notions that they've been indoctrinated to believe that it somehow means you can't believe in God or something. That's ridiculous, throughout the world. Like, the Pope has said that, at this point, to claim that evolution is not a fact is just absurd. And so the Catholic Church officially recognizes evolution as, just a fact of nature, just like, germs are a fact of, disease, and atoms are a fact of, chemistry and all that stuff. But, and even, among Protestant Christianity, most Christians accept evolution as a fact. Most religious people, here's how it boils down. Most evolutionists, as people like to call, people that actually accept the theory of evolution, are Christian. And most Christians are evolutionists. So if you are one of those people who thinks that somehow you can't both be a Christian and accept the science of evolution, you're just wrong. That's just not true. It's not true. It may take some, reinterpretation of your view of your scriptures and stuff, but to argue against scientific facts that are so well attested, and frankly, what I found, especially in the United States, is there is a big faction among the evangelical religious right that is fighting so hard against the teaching of evolution. They want to teach creationism and stuff, and that's just not right because it's not science. It's purely based on some religious viewpoint, and frankly, if you want to teach creationism as like a historical point of view, this is how we view things. Teach it alongside of every creation story, because there's, the American Indians have some fascinating creation stories. It's not just the Genesis Bible account that has a creation story. Every religion has its own creation story. And if you're going to teach religion in schools, teach about all religions. That's how I view it. If you're going to teach a religious point of view, counterbalance it with teaching all the other religious point of views. Problem is, there's just not enough time in a classroom, and frankly, there's no room for that in a science classroom. So that's my little diatribe on that stuff. What are we doing here? Oh yeah. We let our fire go out, but I've got these chickens I'm carrying around. I totally forgot what I was doing here, just gathering stuff. All right, so let's refill this. Let's go ahead and butcher these guys. We'll eat both of those. And we didn't really find hardly any veggie kind of stuff. That's not good. Let's just ignite that and take a swim. Here we go. This is good. I see 2 more kelp down here. Yeah, I've been really relying on this kelp. That's another reason why I'm super anxious to get the crop plots going. Once we get the BCU, then I can make crop plots, and we can start in on tomatoes. Now, obviously, I also want to do the animal pen and all that, but that's a little less important. It's nice to have a steady flow of the protein from that stuff, but first I want to get a stockpile of tomatoes, because you only get, you get 2 tomatoes per plant when you harvest them, but then you have to turn around and extract seeds from half of your tomatoes in order to replant them, because you only get 1 seed for the tomato. So you still come out ahead, but if you're trying to feed yourself with that stuff as well as feed a whole flock of chickens and stuff, it's a bit of a challenge to keep up with the veggies. But okay, let's go back. I almost forgot about our food. Can't forget about the food. Alright, well, let's drink that water. Refill it. I really do wish this platform were underwater. But it's not. It's right at, just above the water line. It's okay though. Alright, well, we got quite a bit of wood, and we've picked up a few things. Where did that wolf go? There was a wolf over here, right? Yeah, there it is. Alright, well, while we've got a little bit of daylight left, let's go ahead and... You know what? To hell with it. I think we've got enough stuff. Now, I'm satisfied. We've been putting it off too long, guys. We've been putting it off too long. We're going to place the BCU. But you know what? Let's do it tomorrow. Psych. I don't know. Here's the thing. I know when you place the BCU, that initiates a timer for the arrival of hunters. So if I... Oh, there you are, hiding behind the bush. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I was just thinking, if I place it this late in the day, will it then have hunters spawning like during the day, in a couple days from now? And I don't know. I would either want to place it first thing in the morning or like last thing at night, or I don't know when to place it, frankly. I don't know that it really makes a difference. If you guys know whether or not it makes a difference if you place your BCU in the morning versus at night or whatever, I want to just give myself as much of a buffer as I can. But I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I do know that I do want to have a little bit of time to start. What the hell is that noise? It was just me. I wanted a little bit of time and daylight to work with the base. Once I place the BCU, there's a lot that I want to accomplish, and I'll want to be able to do that in the daylight. So I thought let's go ahead and do it as the light is waning, but then I would run into a situation where I got no light to see what I'm doing and all that. So we'll be prepared come the morning to place the BCU. I'm just gonna gather up a whole bunch more wood, and then we'll start making a bunch of planks and stuff. How are we on arrows? Okay, we got 7 arrows. Let's make a couple sticks. We'll make another arrow or 2 and a bunch of wooden planks. Do like so. And so, yeah, now it's getting dark. Let's just go ahead and head back. Grab a little more wood. And we'll head back to our base and call it for the day. I think we'll just swim. I can't see anything anyway. We'll just pull out our little blue light. See if we find some kelp along the way here. Yeah, I think we had a pretty good day. We found a lot of loot crates and stuff very early on, which was a wonderful start to things. And then despite, them kind of drying up a little bit afterwards, it was still okay because we got, look at this. Let's go ahead and eat. Yeah, our veggie situation, I really want to get some veggies growing so we can stay on top of that. But, yeah, I think we're doing pretty good, though. So, tomorrow, for sure, we place the BCU. After that, who knows what comes next. But I'm excited. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff going. And for now, I will just say thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me any comments, tips, tricks, recommendations, or death threats. And subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what you think about the Silver Fox thing, too. Google it, guys. Look that up. There's a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff, and I think you'll find it fascinating. Hopefully you will, just like I did. But either way, I'd like to hear what you think. And I will talk with all of you again very, very soon.